Hi Cancer, welcome to October. This month I'm going to do weekly readings, so look forward to videos every Monday. Alright, so the deck that I'm using right now is the Tattoo Tarot, and let's get right into it. Alright Cancer, so I'm definitely seeing here that all of your hard work is going to pay off. As your overall card, you have the Magician, which tells me that right now you're in a time of manifestation. So be very mindful of what you're thinking about, because your thoughts are what are going to attract either this partner or this situation or whatever it is that you're sort of working towards. I see that you have the Four of Cups, Eight of Cups, and Three of Cups, and the Two of Cups. So you have so many cup cards in this reading. I'm definitely seeing high potential for love, high potential for meeting someone new. And I think that's what you've sort of been working towards, because I see that Five of Swords, which talks about sort of like petty arguments and like I'm right and you have to be wrong kind of energy. So I feel like whatever situation you're coming from, there was a lot of fighting, there was a lot of disagreements that escalated into arguments. So now you're sort of walking away from that with this Eight of Cups energy. You're walking away and you're trying to find something that's like more akin to the Four of Cups, which talks about sort of wanting more out of a relationship. So I think that you've definitely sort of taken a step back from this situation and gone within yourself with this Hermit. And I think you've done probably a lot of self-reflection for a long time. I think you've been doing a really great job with this Eight of Pentacles. I think you've been going inside of yourself and just thinking like, what kind of patterns in these relationships am I bringing up? Why do I attract the kind of people that I do? And a lot of that has to do with how we perceive ourselves and what parts of us we sort of put out to the world. And I think that has a lot to do with the Magician. So you're sort of now at a point where you're like, okay, I know that if I act a certain way, I can attract a certain kind of person. So maybe I'll act in a different kind of way that attracts a person that I think is more suited to me to meet my needs at this time. And with this Eight of Pentacles, I think that you've been working towards that for a long time. But you're really getting into it. You're really getting to a point where you can really attract that person that you want, because so much of relationships has to do with working on yourself first to be able to meet somebody halfway in the relationship. I have sort of this philosophy where people will say like relationships are 50-50, but I think that if you approach a relationship from the perspective of, okay, I need to be at 100, you need to be 100, and then we'll put our hundreds together to get 100% of the relationship, then it's still 50-50, but it's different. It has a different feel. And I feel like that's what you're looking for right now. You're looking for a different feel to your relationship because you're sort of, I wouldn't be surprised if you have been sort of going over the same kind of patterns a lot, because I see that seven of wands, and the seven of wands a lot of times I feel means that you are sort of disillusioned to an extent, because in order for you to believe in something and want to fight for it, I feel like there has been some kind of disillusionment tied into the past. So I feel like somebody may have really let you down or really hurt you in the past, but you're reluctant to give up on love and saying, well, no, I know that I can find a relationship that works for me. And I think that you're absolutely right. With this magician as your overall energy, like, I cannot stress enough that you have the power and that you should feel powerful. You should feel in charge of your own life and in control of your own life. So, with the King of Cups, I definitely feel that that's you. That's definitely a representation of who you are in this reading, because the Cup cards will represent water signs. So, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And I feel like you've gotten to the point where you are your king, the king of your suit. You've sort of done a lot of healing and you've done a lot of maturing over the past little bit. So now you're at a point where you want to attract someone who can sort of match your energy. With this Three of Cups and this Two of Cups, I feel like you might be attracting someone from the past, possibly. This Queen of Wands feels like she could be an Aries, but the Queen of Wands will represent Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius specifically. I do see, though, that the King of Cups and the Queen of Wands are looking away from each other. So it could be that the Queen of Wands was the person that hurt you in the past. And I feel like if that is the person that hurt you in the past, definitely, give it a second thought. Reevaluate what you look for in relationships and what you truly value. And if you're truly happy with this person and you think that you can work things out, then I say, yes, go for it. But definitely if it was like an abusive relationship or something, like, I would not condone going back. But I do see that Three of Cups. So for others of you that it wasn't a huge situation where there was abuse going on, it could have been something where there was like a minor disagreement or a medium-sized disagreement that turned into like a big relationship ending fight, and then in retrospect you're sort of thinking about it and you're like, well, maybe it wasn't as big of a deal as we once made it out to be, so let's give it another shot. And I feel like they'll be a lot more receptive at that point, or rather at this point, because I can tell that you've definitely put in the work. Maybe you were also partially at fault in the beginning when that supposed argument occurred, but I think that now you're definitely more at a point where you guys can be your Two of Cups, to where you guys can be in your soulmate energy. Because a lot of the time, even if you are soulmates with someone, if you're not in the right mind space and you're not in the right energy for it, those relationships can turn sour or even toxic. So I definitely would recommend continuing with discretion. But other than that, I see a lot of good things here, Cancer. I see that you've been putting in the work, and that your work is going to be rewarded. So definitely stay tuned for next week, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful time, and I wish you the best of luck.